So with a lot of the version 2.1 stuff coming out for Wuthering Waves, it seems that we're getting even more news about some platforms that we could be seeing Wuthering Waves going to in the future, and what Kuro Games' overall plan is whenever it comes to expanding the games and bringing it to new audiences. And well, there was one post I actually stumbled across, which was a new kind of platform thing going on, which they didn't actually mention in the live stream, which I wanted to talk about, and also talk about the future of Wuthering Waves on these platforms and how it can help them grow, especially in some of the future versions as well. But also about some of the maybe limitations and stuff that's actually preventing Wuthering Waves from going on certain platforms, which is going to be very interesting, and pretty much just going over everything you need to know. So if you guys do enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also go to Game Subs, use my code CASIC. I definitely recommend going over there. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff. They got a new event on at the moment, so I definitely recommend checking that out. And again, just use my code CASIC and get 10% off. But let's get back into the video. So this was one of the first posts I actually saw on the Wuthering Waves subreddit, talking about in CN, Kuro will start testing cloud gaming for WuWa in 2.1. Now, obviously, we've had cloud gaming for quite a while in terms of Wuthering Waves, and I think a lot of people are like, well, this isn't new. But honestly, I find it kind of exciting because it's something that the Chinese audience don't have yet. And over here, what we've had so far is actually the NVIDIA GeForce Now stuff, where you can actually play the game anywhere. And this is really vital to allowing people to play Wuthering Waves, as if you don't know, Wuthering Waves is a very graphically intense game. It's kind of hard to run. Obviously, you know, I think they've just added ray tracing as well for version 2.1 in partnership with NVIDIA as well. So again, it's going to be extremely hard to run, especially if you want to run ray tracing. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to do that through cloud gaming, but it's hard to run on high settings anyways without ray tracing or not, which obviously doesn't really encourage a lot of people to play the game, because again, if they don't have a good enough device, then maybe they can't. Now, obviously, one fix to this was stuff like the PlayStation version, where players can actually go over to the PlayStation version and just play it over there, because again, a lot of people maybe don't have a good PC or something like that, but they do have a PS5, so again, they can play the game. But obviously, not everybody has a PS5 and stuff like that, so they also made another kind of way, which is GeForce Now, which is through cloud gaming. Now, if you don't know, cloud gaming is where they pretty much stream the game to you, and then you take all the brunt end of all the performance and all the kind of processing in some kind of server somewhere else. NVIDIA takes care of that and then sends it over to you through Wi-Fi, and it creates like a kind of seamless process where pretty much you can play the game on full graphics and stuff like that without it being too laggy and too bad because your PC isn't good enough, which again, I think is absolutely great. But it seems like in China, they're actually releasing some new stuff in version 2.1, and obviously some people are talking in the comments, like they're saying like, is this a Kuro own hosted cloud gaming? Because again, they're saying coming soon. It definitely does seem like they are trying to kind of do something themselves, as you know, GeForce Now is a kind of external thing. It's not in partnership with Wuthering Waves or anything. Wuthering Waves just happens to be on there. But again, they say, well, Hoyo already launched an official Genshin cloud gaming app though, even though it's already on GFN. Can't see why Kuro Games would do the same. So again, some people are speculating that this might actually be a Kuro Games own way of doing cloud gaming, which I think is actually very exciting. Now, obviously, we haven't seen any news about that over in the EN kind of side, so we haven't actually seen any of that, but it is very exciting to see that, you know, over in CN, we could be seeing them actually doing some kind of cloud gaming, because again, that's going to boost up the amount of players that come into the game. As players that don't have a good enough PC or whatever, or players that, you know, maybe can't run it, well, you know, they can now run it and play the game, and I'm sure there is actually quite a surprising amount of people over here, at least, that use GeForce Now, so I'm sure a lot of people would use a Kuro Games cloud gaming thing. Now, I don't know in terms of payment or anything like that. I'm sure a lot of you have probably realized that, because again, they need money to run the servers and everything like that. But again, it will be interesting to see if this does come out over globally, because so far it seems like they are just testing this over in CN, and it will be interesting to see how CN actually react and how it is, it's just in general, how people have been enjoying it and how it compares to other kind of games like GeForce Now. And it might never come out in global, because again, as I said, NVIDIA GeForce Now is already there, and I don't know if it's particularly available in China, so maybe that's why they're making their own one, so that Chinese players can also have a cloud gaming kind of solution. But I don't know. Again, we'll have to wait and see if anything gets announced over here, but so far nothing has been announced. And obviously as well, one of the other big factors that Wuthering Waves actually released on the live stream was the announcement of the Apple Mac. Now, they said Wuthering Waves is set to launch on the Apple Mac and will be available on the Mac App Store starting March 27th. The Mac version of Wuthering Waves allows for a seamless data sharing across all platforms. Get ready to freely explore Solaris on your Apple Mac device. And so yeah, this is going to be coming out on March 27th, which again is great to see, and I can't wait for it to come over. Now, I don't know how many Mac players there actually are. I feel like the amount of Mac users has actually kind of gone down, apart from maybe the people that use like the laptops. So again, we'll have to wait and see. But overall, it is a really, really good positive positive because it seems like Wuthering Waves are trying to branch out to these other kind of platforms. And well, we got more platforms that I do want to see them come out to. Obviously, Xbox is one of them. Obviously, Genshin Impact recently did it. So it seems like Xbox are looking to add more gacha games into their stores and stuff like that, which will be really, really great. So again, Wuthering Waves, if they can get working on that, that'd be great. And also the new Switch, which if you don't know, the Switch 2 apparently has the kind of capabilities of an old PS4 Pro, which I think is more than enough to run Wuthering Waves. And obviously it's not, you know, a PS4 Pro, it's newer, meaning that it should be a little bit quicker as well, meaning that Wuthering Waves could actually be running on the Switch. Now obviously with the previous Switch, you know, just the regular one, it's not going to run very well just because it's quite old. And I'm pretty sure that's why Genshin Impact, despite announcing it whenever they first announced it ages ago, haven't actually released anything on that because they realized that it just wasn't really possible and that the game would just look really bad. So maybe they're both actually holding out for the Switch 2, and it's going to be very exciting to see it come out on there if it does. And also for some other kind of unconventional ones, because obviously the Mac Store is a kind of unconventional one, as you know, not very many people think about it. I do think adding Wuthering Waves to Steam might actually help a little bit. I feel like, you know, in terms of searchability, in terms of, you know, getting it out there, I feel like getting Wuthering Waves on Steam would be a huge deal. Now, even if that does take them to the launcher later on or something like that, I think that's totally fine. And we've seen other gacha games do it as well. Obviously, we've had Snowbreak, Tower Fantasy, stuff like that. They've all gone over to Steam, and it just makes it easier. Obviously, Honkai Impact 3rd as well. There's a ton of games that do it, and it does help with their discoverability and just helps with getting the game's name out there, which I think Wuthering Waves could definitely benefit from, because I think that is what Kuro Games' kind of game plan is at the moment, is getting their name out there, is getting their game out onto as many platforms as possible to get the maximum reach possible, and I think they're doing a really good job at it. Obviously, I've talked previously in, you know, videos months ago, talking about the PlayStation version, being like, hey, we need a PlayStation version because it's going to help out a lot of people, and well, they've finally done it. So it seems like Kuro Games keep listening, and they keep providing us with a lot of these updates and a lot of these platforms, which again, people are going to be very happy with, especially if you're someone that maybe can't run, you know, a game like this on full pelt on a PC or something like that, because I do understand that it can be kind of hard, especially if you're someone that really wants to play Wuthering Waves, but maybe just doesn't have the equipment to. And I think Kuro Games is trying to cater towards that. They're trying to understand that a lot of gacha game players don't actually have the most powerful of PCs or have the most powerful of phones or whatever, because again, you know, they're used to playing like 2D games which just kind of like fly around and chibi stuff. So again, it's going to be very exciting to see more stuff coming out in the future. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Would you be giving this new cloud gaming thing a try if it does come out? Obviously, there is already GeForce Now if you guys do want to try it. And let me know what kind of platforms you want Wuthering Waves to come out on. I think that the Switch would be really cool, and Xbox. So those are the main ones that I want to see, but maybe there's some other ones which I failed to mention in this video, which you guys want to see even more, or maybe you want the same ones as well. So again, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you guys did enjoy this video, and also go to GameStop, my code CASA, get 10% off. Again, get a ton of really cool GameStop stuff. They got a ton of really cool shirts and things like that, so definitely recommend going over there. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.